Hey, what's good? Figured I'd hop on here, go live with you guys, make a smoothie for us this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut up some oranges here. We've got 8 of the Cara oranges. Look at these beauties. Cara oranges. I'm going to cut up 8 of these. And then I've got a couple of grapefruit, just some small ones. 2 grapefruit, 1 lemon, 1 lime to make this smoothie for me and Lissa this morning. Hopefully you guys are having a good morning or evening, wherever y'all are. Good to see you guys. What's going on? So I'm just going to whoop up these real quick. I've got my trusty little Cuisinart juicer here we're going to juice them with. Doesn't take too long. I kind of contemplated whether going live to do this or not with you, but part of me thought maybe I should just go live to show you how fast it actually is to make a smoothie. Even doing your own juicing. Juicing up your own oranges. Some of these oranges are like, they need the love. Look at that. They're kind of getting dry. So let's juice these up real quick. And I titled this live, How to Download the Bundle. So I've had a couple people ask me how to download it and how to save it. So after we make these smoothies, I'll go over to my computer and show you how to download the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. So this bundle is brand new. Everything that is in it is brand new. We're involved in several bundles a year. And what's nice about a bundle is you get so many things for such a great deal. I think this bundle is right around $1,400 worth of stuff for $50. And there's a lot of really cool things in there. I haven't actually had a chance to go through everything just yet. So this will be kind of fun to download this together and to see what is actually inside this bundle. Super, super excited. Let's see here. No, so the smoothie ebook is not in this bundle. It was in the last bundle, the vegan health and wellness bundle. It's not in this one, but we might see that there is a smoothie book in this bundle. Just gotta poke this a little bit. There it goes. But I'm really excited for other people to get this bundle and start making some of the stuff. I've already seen some of the recipes some of the people have been making, which is really, really cool. Lissa has her brand new sushi book in here. Over 160 recipes in the sushi book, all raw vegan sushi. It's amazing. And we've got all kinds of cool stuff in this bundle. We'll check it out here in just a moment together. Let me just finish up these smoothies. So yeah, we've got Cara oranges, grapefruit, lemon, and lime. And then I'm going to do like a fruit medley blend, which is pineapple, mango, strawberry, and peach, as well as some strawberries, some extra strawberries. All good. Thanks for posting some recipes on YouTube. During that last bundle, I made about 5 of them right on. And they were a good break from the same old banana berry smoothie. Isn't that the truth though, man? Like, we get stuck on certain ones and it's just kind of what we do, you know? It's like you have your fallback recipes that you always make. So it is kind of fun to have new recipes. That's why I love these raw vegan bundles, especially because it's neat to see what other people are making. And, you know, everybody has kind of a different vibe, a different style, a different flavor profile, which is really fun to play around with. My mouth's watering with these juices, with this juicing here. All right, let's do our lemon, do our limes. Can you guys smell it? Ooh. So good, so good. Yeah, and then I also had after we download, we'll see how our time is. Lissa's doing a live today, and I wanted to help her with the camera. So we'll see how our time is. But I do have some questions that came in yesterday, and I kind of wanted to address those questions. So we can kind of go over some of those questions too. All right, so here we go. We've got our juice. Let me just go throw this in the sink. Look at this. Beautiful. Look at that. Ooh, so good. All right, so we're going to pour this in our Vitamix container. That is a lot of juice. A lot of juice. All right, then we'll get our blender over here. Let's see if you guys can maybe see the blender. This is our new blender. We got it off eBay. Super, super stoked about it. It's a used one, but it's still amazing. If you guys are ever in the market for a new blender, make sure you check out eBay or Craigslist or some kind of these places. We got this for $80. $80. We didn't buy the carafe, you know, the pitcher, because we already had the pitcher, but the unit was 80 bucks. So stoked. All right, so there we go. Now I've got this really super ripe banana. It's the only one that I have. I got some more bananas yesterday, but they're not ripe yet. Look at this. This one's on the verge. It's kind of contemplating. You know, it's like when they're this ripe, they kind of turn to like a jelly sugar. Look at this thing. Phew. All right, so we're gonna have the banana in there, kind of cream it up a little bit. And then we've got some frozen strawberries we'll do up. All right. And then I've got this Daybreak blend, which is pretty cool. There's a few different things in here. Pineapple, peach, strawberry, mango. We'll just use the rest of that. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. There is the smoothie for this morning. Delicious fruit smoothie. Let's kick it on. Here we go. Blend it up. Look at that, $80. This machine is just like, it's a champ. Now we didn't vacuum blend this. For those of you who maybe don't know what vacuum blending is, maybe type it in the chat and I can go over it. But do you discard the bananas where the black stuff is inside of the center of the banana, but can't be seen, or cannot be seen from the outside? You know, it depends. Sometimes you open a banana and it's just like a real weird kind of custardy, really dark but custardy. I'll toss that section. That one didn't have any funky marks, so we were good to go, but look at this. Look at this. All right, this one's Lissa's. See if you can see this girl. She's a beautiful girl right here. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Amazing. This one's gonna be a brain freezer because we used 2 different kinds of frozen fruit. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, man. I love it when it's just a perfect pour. So good. So what I like to do is I like to keep stuff really clean. So this is ready to be rinsed. Let me bring you over here. See if you guys can see our sink section here real quick. Just for fun, just for kicks and giggles. Look, we got our fresh basil over here. You guys ever buy the basil at the store? Like that, and you can just keep it going. So nice. Look at there. Done. Done deal. Rinse these out real quick. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Just like that. It's cool because really all these things you just can kind of rinse. They don't need any soap scrubbing or anything like that because we didn't really do much with it. All right, there. We've got the dishes cleaned up. Now let's download this bundle. I'm excited to see what's inside this bundle. Well, first we got to give Lissa her smoothie. Babe, you want to come grab your smoothie? Or do you want me to grab it? Give it to you. Look at this. Look at how thick. Ooh, that's a thickie. All right, here you go, baby. Now you're good. That's why I said, you want to come get it? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so let's download this bundle. First and foremost, can you repeat what kind of blender you have? All right, yeah, so
good.
is that good?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fresh juice. You can't go wrong with fresh juice, no water. So this blender is a Vitamix. Let me grab the phone here. It's a Vitamix blender. And this one was supposed to be the 6300. This is the blender that we had that basically pooped out on us. This one here says Creations, right? So it's real simple. You just turn it on, and then you have the dial speed up to 10, and then you can kick it on high. So it's real simple. It's kind of an older series, the Legacy series. Really good motors. Our other one, we used it so much. I mean, we got our monies out of it, you know, like it was a sad day, but then we got on eBay, and we found the other ones. Check this one out. This is the new one. This one is also off eBay. This was also $80. This is the 6300. This has the smoothie, the frozen dessert, and the hot soup setting, as well as the variable speed and a pulse. Now, we don't really use these ones over here necessarily. We pretty much just use the variable speed. But these supposedly are the same motor, the same horsepower. But I feel like the 6300 is a little bit stronger. But that one was $80 as well. And we're like, you know what? I mean, we were about ready to drop $500-600 on a brand new commercial Vitamix. Now, the commercial Vitamix is a 3-horse rather than a 2-horse. And I don't know, like I was talking to my buddy, and I was like, yo, what would you do? John Kohler, you know, he's the discount juicers. You know, he's like always a go-to guy when you want to talk about these kinds of things. And we started to like him and haw about different, you know, blenders. And he's like, you know what, let's check eBay. And he's like, look, there's a 6300 on eBay for $80. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally buying it. Because I think I dropped like $700 on that 6300 back in the day, which was 2017. I bought it brand new. So we got 2 Vitamixes for $160 off eBay. Both of them were free shipping. That was like the criteria. We wanted free shipping because some of them are like $90 to ship it. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's more than the actual motor. So super, super cool. We're super pumped about that. Okay, so let's check this out and get into this bundle. So the raw vegan bundle comes around once a year, and everybody puts in brand new content into this bundle. I put in a cracker book called Crack It, or Crack, Spread, and Repeat. Crack, Spread, and Repeat. So that's my new book. I believe there was, gosh, you know, we'd have to count. I think that, I want to say that, there's definitely over 35 recipes in there. And then Lissa has her new sushi book she's been working on for like over a year. She's actually been compiling for like a couple years in this book, but she's worked on this book for pretty much throughout the year. An amazing book. But let's get in and see the other books that are in here. Let's see if I can flip this camera. All right, so we're gonna kick this open. Let's get in here and open it up. All right, so let's say you got the bundle. And gosh, you know what? I wanna have this camera still for us. So here, bear with me for one quick sec. Let me see if I can, I'll put it in the tripod here real quick because I don't want it to be super funky for you. I want you to be able to see, and I don't want to have to hold it the whole time either. So real quick, let's put this here, kind of shorten her down a little bit, get you guys a good angle. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can make that happen. Can we make that happen? Is that going to be there? Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's say you get the bundle. This is what it's going to look like when it says, you know, you're ready to go. So it says here, I think I got the bundle a few years ago, but can't remember how to access it. Okay, so this is kind of a bummer deal in a way, is when you get the bundle, normally you'd have a year to download everything. So if it was a couple of years ago, even if you found it, you probably won't be able to download it. I shouldn't say probably. If it was a couple of years ago, you can't download it anymore. And now the company that we go with has increased their prices like 5 times of what it used to be to host all of these downloads. So this bundle, and probably moving forward, you'll have 2 months to download it. And it's best just to download it right away. And that's kind of why I wanted to show you how to do this, because it's pretty quick. We'll do it together, start to finish, and then store it on your desktop. And if you have an external hard drive or a little like zip drive or something, you could put an extra one on there, because you've got 10 downloads. So you could download it to several devices, which is pretty cool. So let's get over here and check this out. Sorry if you didn't download that one. That's a bummer deal. But okay, so let's check this out. So you've got the bundle. We've got some easy listening music rocking this morning. Easy listening 70s. So let's go over here. Let's see. Can I zoom in? Oh, look at that. I can zoom in for you guys. Okay, cool. So here it is. Here's the bundle ready to go. This is really cool. The group collaboration book. Let's see. Does it make a big arrow? Yeah. This is the group collaboration book. So people from around the world donated or contributed one of their favorite recipes to this collaboration book. This book is only available inside this bundle. I may have downloaded it. I'll have to look. Yeah, check Sendowl on your email. Search Sendowl. And then, of course, if you downloaded it, hopefully you put it in a folder or something. And that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys today. So, boom, you just come over here, download. And boom, it's downloading right there. However your computer is set up, right? This is a MacBook. So this is a vintage MacBook, you guys. This is a 2015 MacBook. So now that that's downloaded, I can go over here. Here, let me just minimize this. Let's get our folder made first and foremost. Oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. No, don't need this right now. Okay, we're good. Look at my my desktop is a mess. Okay, so let's start a new folder, and we're gonna label this one 2025 Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. Okay, so boom. So now we've got that folder. Let's put it right over here so I can just drag stuff right into it. I'll move a couple things out of the way here, just so I don't, get confused or whatever. Okay, so we're have that folder right over there. Oh, you couldn't see it. So I put the folder right over here. So let's come over here and let's go back to our orders. Okay, so now that we have the orders ready to go, I'm going to go up here just to make it quick and easy. I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag this right into the folder. Bink. So it's right into the folder. There it is. Let's close that down. We don't need that open. Okay, so we're just going to do one at a time like that. So let me see if I can go back a little bit. There we go. Let me see. Maybe I can. Yeah, I'll move that there. It's good. Okay, so we've downloaded this one. It's the next one. This one here is Alana, and this one here is Light, Nourishing, and Easy. That sounds pretty cool. I don't know I haven't gone through these books yet, so I need to go through them, but I'm downloading them, and as soon as I do that, as soon as it's downloaded, I just drag it right into the folder. Okay, so the next one here, Bella, You Can't Kale My Vibe. Heck yeah, I like the title of that one. Let's download it. Boom, it's downloaded. Okay, Can't Kale My Vibe, drag it right over. Pretty quick. I mean, depending on your computer. This one here is Chef AJ and Melissa's Make It Raw 4. This is a super cool book. Make It Raw is really, really cool. Just drag it right on in. We should have timed it. I'm going to say we started at 10 o'clock. It's 10:01 right now. Okay, and then we got Chef Dorit, Learning to Eat Plant-Based Living Foods. That sounds pretty bomb. That sounds bomb diggity. Drag it right on into the folder. Let's just double check our folder. Oh yeah, cool. We got them in there. Let's get this one up in here. Yeah, see? Boom. Different views of what we have in there so far. Okay, next up is Chris Kendall's Raw Truths, Exposing the Top 10 Myths Sabotaging Your Raw Food Journey. That's going to be a good book. Okay, Chris Kendall's right here. Boom, downloaded. I'm going to bring it right on in, drop it over. Now, everybody has compressed their books, so the files aren't very big. This doesn't take up much space on your computer. Now we have Daria. The Root Cure Planner. Let's download that. This is a 400-page book, Lissa says. The Root Cure Planner, 400-page book. And we'll tap into that one. I like to go through everybody's book. That's why I like to download it right away so I can get in there. Look, we got Dr. Rick and Karen. What I Eat in a Day, Raw Vegan Mini Course. Now, if you guys don't know who Dr. Rick and Karen are, they are raw food educators, and they actually have a year-long course that you can take, and they'll teach you every single thing that you could possibly want to know and more about raw food. It's really amazing stuff. So that's going to be a really good book. Grant Campbell's Fruit-Based Life, The Food. This is also over 100 pages, and he basically talks about all kinds of different varieties of fruits and where they come from and these sorts of things. Amazing. So amazing. One quick sec. Excuse me. Utopia said, I bought your hand salads ebook in December, tried to download it to my iPhone but didn't work. I've searched everywhere on my files, folders, downloads. Do you have any advice? Okay, so if you bought the ebook, then would she search for PayHip? Yeah, so if it was just the ebook, Utopia, then search your computer, your email for PayHip. Type in PayHip and see what pops up. Maybe it'll be right there. You tried to download to your she said she tried to download to her iPhone but didn't work.
Okay, well she has to open the file.
Okay.
And then
So
should be a little,
she says open the file.
there should be a little box with an arrow.
Okay, there's a little box with an arrow.
Tap on that.
Tap on the arrow.
And then select the app books.
And then select the app Books. So that,
Automatically.
yes, that way it puts into your book. We could do that here too. So when you're on your phone, you could be like, where does it want to store? You could just pick the app that you want and put it in your books. If you have any issues, hit us up. You could email, you could direct message me or Lissa, and if you're having some real issues, you could screenshot what you're seeing, and we can lead you through this because that's kind of frustrating, right? Like I totally understand. Okay, so let's get back to this over here, and we are at. Oh, hold on, where are we at? There we go. Try to get this stationary here. Okay. So here we are, next one. This is Happy Raw Rennie's Effortlessly Raw Mini Course. That's going to be cool. Raw Mini Course. A raw food mini course. You cannot go wrong. Absolutely, Utopia. We got you. Just hit us up if you have issues. But yeah, follow those steps if you remember them. Okay, so Julia, look at here, Slimming Secrets. Right? A little secret she's sharing on how to slim it up a little bit. Boom, let's get that one in there. We got Karen Ramsey and Feather Smith. This is Rawthentic. Hey, that sounds pretty fun right there. Download it, drag it into the folder. All right, and then we've got Kate Duma here, Rawlicious for Kids, Pure Fuel for Little Chefs. Rawlicious for Kids, Pure Fuel for Little Chefs. That is a cool title, because we got to get these kids of ours knowing what's up early on. All right, Kiko has here, how do you say it? Is it Namado? Namado. I'm stoked to check her book out. She's been messing with raw food for about 20 years. This is her very first book, and she is definitely a gem, and I'm super, super pumped to check it out. Then we got LaShonda here, The Low Fat Raw Vegan Blueprint. Hey, sometimes that's what we need. We just need a blueprint. Can I just follow a blueprint, please? I just need to know what to do. Lena has here 1 year free access to Nourished. Okay. A year of free access to Nourished. Hey, I mean, who doesn't want to be nourished? That sounds like it's pretty positive right there. Lexi has her weight release for women. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's download it. We're going to put that right in our file. Boom. Okay. And next one here, we've got how do you say it? Lumidia or Ludmilla? What's that? Lyudmila Gerson. Eat and apply. Hey, that is legit. That's all we got to do. Just eat and apply. Eat the food, apply the tactics. Then we got here Melissa Maris, the raw food sushi, nori, rolls, and bowls. This book, I mean, I'm a little biased, but this book here, period, is worth the bundle. I feel like alone, it won't be the price of the bundle. It'll be cheaper, but that is a killer book. And I've eaten every single one of those recipes. I can vouch. They're absolutely amazing. Mira, the Fruit Homestead Family Permaculture. I'm going to be going live with them here in a couple days. I'm super excited to meet them and to talk about their homesteading and their permaculture that they have over there in Costa Rica. And they also have here Mira's Mama's Circle, 3 months access. So that's really cool. You get 3 months access to her Mama's Circle. And, if you've got kiddos, this is a great thing to tap into. Oh, look, and she even has the third one here. This is the Raw Foodie Family Recipes. Boom. So her and her partner have 3 contributions in this bundle. That's super, super dope. All right, Miriam, the Natural Detox and Botox Course. Okay. All right, Miriam, let's check it out. Let's get you in there too. I want them all. I want all these books in there. I don't want to lose any of them. Melody has the Raw Vegan Copycat Handbook. That's sometimes all we need to do too. You find someone who has a good plan, and you just follow them. You just copycat them. Look, here's my book, Crack, Spread, Repeat. I don't know why I downloaded it because I already have it, but I'm going to put it in there because it goes along with the stack. Raw Chef Yin, an amazing book here. Chinese takeout video course. This is going to be so, so beneficial. I personally love video courses. It is so fun to watch other people make things. Then you can just copy. And then Sachiko has her Heal and Shine workbook. That is a really cool book. She's a beautiful, beautiful soul. Super stoked that she put something in here with us this year. Sky has her Roar. This is Sky. This is Roar Sky, man. She got Roar dinners. Oh, I love it. Yes. Get hers in there. And then we're going to open these up after we're done, and we're going to check them all out. Stacy has her Grow Microgreens and More Successfully. Hey, we all should be growing more food, and microgreens are some of the best things to be growing. Look at here, Tinica. This is her very first book, Tens First. So her nickname is Tens, so she called it Tens First. It's her very first book. She is a really amazing person, and she's been crushing these recipes. She's in our community, and it's just so nice to see that she stepped up and created something for everybody. Look at here, Wendy also has her Feminine Harmony book in here. We're getting down. This is the last one coming up. Boom. And then Susanna has Fall in Love with Vegetables. I mean, that is something that everybody in this world ought to be doing, is falling in love with their vegetables. All right, let's tap this. So it's 10:11 now. So basically 10 minutes it took to download all these books. And let's just open. Yeah, and we were talking and we were answering questions and stuff. So there's what we have right there. There is the bundle right there. So we've got, how many books do we have in here, babe?
32.
There's 32 books in this bundle. All of them are downloaded right here. Now I can show you my Crack, Spread, and Repeat book. Look at this. Oh, yes. I am going to just kind of scroll through here. I kind of did a little write-up and stuff, but yeah, this has been really fun. Look at here. I'll read to you but this is the dedication. This book is dedicated to the wild ones, the rebels, the souls who refuse to sit down, shut up, and swallow the lies. The ones who looked at the grocery store aisles full of fake, dead, chemical trash and said, nah, I deserve better. To every human who's tired of being lied to, tired of being sick, tired of being robbed of their energy, their clarity, their fucking power, this book is for you. For the warrior who knows that real food is a weapon, that flavor is freedom, that life isn't meant to be half-lived under a fog of processed poison. This book is for the snack rebels, the kitchen alchemists, The flavor anarchists, welcome to the uprising. Crack, spread, and repeat. Rebel, reclaim, rebuild. That's my dedication page. So we got all kinds of different pages in here to read through. Talk about omegas and, trying to just give you guys, got links for different things. Got the final warning in here because this book is definitely, if you follow a low-fat raw vegan diet, this book is higher in fat because they are made with chia and flax and sunflower seeds, essentially, like a lot of the crackers are. So we've got all the recipes in here. You get all these recipes. We've got crackers, we've got spreads, we've got cheeses, we've got some dips, and this is a really fun one. I had a lot of fun making this book for you. And so yeah, that's that. We did it all. We got them all downloaded. I couldn't see Joe to purchase. Maybe that was a typo. Maybe the link to purchase. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Let me turn this camera back around and get you guys going. So essentially, that is how you download the bundle and you save everything to a file. Now, if you can back that file up, right, put it on a zip drive, put it on an external hard drive, you'll have that essentially, like if your hard drive's okay, right, safe, you'll have them forever. You've got these books forever. And some people even take and print out the books. Maybe they have a one that they really love and they just print it out because some of these aren't going to be printed. I couldn't see how to purchase. Okay, so what you want to do is just go up here, tap my little, handle picture, and it'll bring you to my page, and the link is in my bio. So you can just tap that link in my bio, and that's how you can purchase the bundle. So grab it. We've got, I think, 10 days. Yesterday was the very first day, so it's ending May 11th. So we've got 10 more days that we're going to be shouting loud about this because this is a really great opportunity for people who want to get into eating more raw foods. I know I coach a couple people and I've got some friends who are like getting into raw foods and they're really excited. They want to have more recipes and they're starting to, their interest is peaked now. And something like this is a really amazing tool to really have in your pocket. Absolutely. Too legit to quit. I love it. Absolutely. So make sure you grab that. And we've got a few more minutes here. So let's get into some of these questions. These are some questions. I'm just going to take the legs down to the tripod again here. Sorry about that. Forgive me there. Uh-oh, this one is shorter. Sorry about all the wiggles. Just try to get this thing set back up. Okay, so these are some questions that I've had some friends ask, as well as some people who asked in the DMs just yesterday because I'm posting about the raw bundle. People are like, what's raw? So one of them is, what exactly is a raw vegan diet? And this is a really great question. Let me see if I can put this down a little bit more here. There we go. This is a really great question. What is a raw vegan diet? So essentially, it's nice to have that label to say to maybe somebody, at a restaurant or something, I'm a raw vegan. Because sometimes people think raw, they think, oh, do you eat raw meat? Do you eat raw eggs? So raw vegan, right? So veganism and vegan has nothing to do with the diet. It's an external expression of our internal moral compass. Like we don't want to, exploit animals. We don't want to be voting for these kinds of products, right? So that's what vegan is. Now, raw is essentially like you're eating things in its raw state. And the way I like to picture this is, say you take an apple, right? And you put it in the oven and you bake the apple. Now, it's going to be delicious for sure. Baked apple, it's kind of like applesauce, right? Like warm and soft. Now, but you take those seeds from the apple and try to go plant them. Will they grow? No, they won't grow because the temperature in the oven is so high that it actually cooked and killed the life force, if you will, of the seed of the food. So the concept is eating things in their natural state. They're more like living foods. They're alive. They haven't been denatured or damaged. Now, not to say that cooking is like evil and horrible and all these things, but when we look out into the world these days and we see the problems that we have, we can see that we ought to be doing a little bit better than what we're doing right now. So a raw vegan diet is essentially that. You're eating things in its natural state. Like you go pick some grapes, that's raw food. You pick an apple off of the tree, that's raw food, You go get a melon or some zucchini or some squash, or not squash, a cucumber from the garden, and you eat it raw. Like raw zucchini is actually really, really delicious, and zucchini is actually a fruit. Same with a cucumber. Same with a tomato or an avocado. It's interesting, right? You could grate that zucchini up and put it in your salad. That's raw food. You haven't cooked it. So that's essentially, what a raw vegan diet is it's just eating things in its natural state. Right? You chop the lettuce, you eat the lettuce. You get the cilantro, you eat that, right? So there are certain things that you can actually eat raw that some people maybe don't know that you can eat raw, like cauliflower, broccoli, corn, sweet potatoes. You can actually eat sweet potatoes raw. And it's nice if you spiralize them or shred them and put them into your salad. You're getting different starches and different fibers for your microbiome, the gut flora in your belly, in your gut, to be able to help you in different ways. Like the more fiber that you eat, especially a diverse, wide variety of fibers is going to help grow that microbiome. You got a healthier gut, you got a healthier immune system, and the connection between the brain and the gut is stronger. So it's all just super, super amazing in so many ways. But that's essentially what a raw food diet is just eating things that haven't been cooked at a high temperature. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you, Destiny. So another question I have here is, what are the benefits to a raw vegan diet? Which we did kind of tap into right there. Kind of answered that question on that last one. The benefits would be you are eating things in its more natural state. And the concept that I like to kind of sort of, I don't want to say cling to, but embody is when you're eating things in their natural state, our body recognizes these foods, and they're not necessarily for, of course they're for us, they're to fuel us and to give us energy, but a lot of times they're for the little dudes, the microbiome. We're eating these prebiotic fibers. These microbiomes start to flourish and start to create, the postbiotics and the short chain fatty acids, which kind of like, it helps us in so many ways. We have a healthier immune system, a healthier gut, and a lot of things that we have issues with nowadays, skin issues and, different diseases and these sorts of things, a lot of them stem from a gut dysbiosis, right? Like not having a good balanced gut flora. Let me grab my smoothie. My smoothie's over here like calling me. He was looking. Cheers to you guys. So imagine this too. I got some friends who are like, Nate, I feel really good because I've been eating oatmeal and I've been having smoothies in the morning instead of stopping at the gas station and grabbing a fried burrito, dipping it in ranch, and having an energy drink or a coffee in the morning. I'm like, just try not, not to do that, and just have a smoothie in the morning or have some oatmeal. Now, oatmeal can be raw. There's a company called 1 Degree, and they're sprouted oats, and they've been dried at 118 degrees, so they're still raw, which is really cool. And then you can just, you can warm up some water in your teapot, pour some water in there, or you could do overnight oats and just soak the oats in the fridge. Next morning you got oatmeal. And how much better he feels because he just stopped getting the gas station breakfast and started to drink a smoothie or having some oatmeal in the morning. So the benefits are like, they're there. And we all know it, right? We all, I feel like, inherently know that we ought to be eating more fruits and vegetables to feel a bit better. Yeah, Utopia says, cheers to everyone! Health XX, yes, exactly. So that's some of the benefits. There's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of people who reverse different things, different issues, whatever it may be. Like I used to have allergies all the time. I'm living in a drier climate. We used to live in Oregon. Now we live in Las Vegas, so the air is different here. But I used to get sick quite often. Hay fever. You get kind of like the common flu, like at least once, if not twice a year. I rarely get sick anymore. I have gotten sick before, since being raw. Like you have a fever and you just feel super, super sluggish, and you have to just lay down for a day. but that's just life, you know. So, but there's a lot of different benefits that go on in the body when you start to incorporate more raw foods and you start to eliminate, of course, you know, if we can do the best at eliminating as a society processed food, then we're going to be doing so much better than, you know, we are now. So if everybody agrees there, get the processed food out, and the more whole food you can eat, the better you're going to be. And just adding more raw food into your life, it's going to be even better. It's, you know, just super high fiber. It's not denatured. It's got a life force in it, right? It's easier for the body to break down in a lot of ways, but it isn't as calorie dense, so you do have to eat more. You do have to eat more. You can definitely get a lot more calories in a bowl of cooked food than a little bowl of raw food, right? Your bowl of raw food ends up becoming big because you need to eat more. Another question I had here from David is, do you have to be 100% raw to see results? No, you don't have to be 100% raw to see results. So my buddy who, you know, I'm coaching, he is eating raw for breakfast, raw for lunch, and then he has cooked dinner. And he says he hasn't eaten eggs, and it's been over a month for eggs. He did get some fast food. They stopped at Del Taco, and he's like, man, Nate, I felt so horrible after that Del Taco. He's like, I don't think I can eat Del Taco anymore. So, but he still eats his cooked food meal at night, and he's really not eating as much meat at night because he's not vegan. He's like, I'm trying to take it slow, you know, and he's got kids and, you know, busy life going to school and working and stuff. But I'm like, how do you feel? And he said, man, I feel so good, because he's swapped his funky breakfast out for some oatmeal or a smoothie or fresh fruit. He's eating fruit for snacks, and he's having a wrap for lunch. He's basically he bought a dehydrator, he bought the silicone trays, he's making the wraps, the hand salads, and he's bringing those with him to school, to work, and other people are like, whoa, where'd you get that? That's amazing, right? So he's feeling the difference, but he's not 100% raw. Lee says here, hey, I'm thinking of becoming vegan. How do I transition slowly or properly? Okay, that's a great question, and that's kind of what I was just talking about. My buddy, just start with breakfast. You know, do a raw breakfast. Have a smoothie, have some fresh fruit for breakfast. That's a great way to start. And maybe after like a week of that, you're like, all right, I'm gonna have a raw breakfast and a raw lunch, or a vegan lunch. You know, it's interesting because as someone who's raw foodie, like I've been raw since 2017, I have cooked meals here and there, and it's interesting to like feel how different I feel inside, or like just mentally, when I eat those cooked meals as opposed to having my raw dinner, right? Because a lot of times it'll be dinner. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have, you know, some steamed vegetables, maybe I'll do some rice and lentils, you know, and I'm like, you know, it's delicious, but I don't feel, I can feel the difference. And so I feel like a lot of people don't even really know what it feels like to actually feel good, because they're not eating a predominantly raw diet. You know, it can be kind of extreme, but that's what I would suggest, is just start slowly. Just start with one meal throughout the day. Maybe change your snacks too, you know, to just eating more raw fruit for snacks. So you have some grapes, have a couple bananas, maybe some dates, right? Get some dates, put it on sticks of celery. It's just crunchy. Celery's kind of salty. You get that sweetness with the date. Oh, that's such a great snack. That's what I would suggest. I would also suggest to try to steer clear from the processed foods. Even though the processed foods are brilliant, it's really nice that we do have cheeses and milks and butters and creams and ice creams and mock meats and all these sorts of things. You can, of course, you know, you can do whatever you want, but you know, you can eat those kinds of things, but you're not going to feel as good as if you were to eat whole foods. So I would, you know, get the bundle. I mean, if you really want to go vegan, grab this bundle. There's so many recipes that you can tap into and make that are going to be really delicious. They're going to be satiating. You're going to have nice textures. You're going to have nice flavors, and you're going to feel a little bit more empowered because you're making this food yourself. That's the biggest thing. Like, it's so important for us to actually learn how to do these sorts of things and make the food. So we're like, whoa, that was actually really fast. Like, I went to the store, I got these many groceries. Like, grocery shopping, especially if you're eating whole foods, is so fast because you just go to the fruit and vegetable section, you know, the spices and the bulk foods, and you're out of there. Like, you're not buying any canned or packaged goods. We don't go to any of the other parts of the store. It's just the fruit and vegetable section, and then we're out. It's fast. So, but that would be my suggestion. Just start with a meal at a time. See how you feel, start to incorporate more. Find recipes. There's lots of recipes on YouTube. You can be like vegan recipes. You know, type in YouTube and just go with it. You're gonna feel really good. How do you say here? I'm so horrible with pronouncing it. Azatinas 916. I probably said it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. What about blood sugar levels? Feels like eating all day long would release the with all these fruits might be somewhat dangerous. Now this is a really great question. You know, some people, in a lot of ways, like there's a lot of fear being pumped. You know, fear is like such a great motivational tool in so many ways, right? You could sell different products because you're pumping fear this way, you're pumping fear that way. The problem in a lot of ways is that we as a society are eating way too many fats. So we have fats that are in our bloodstream, and we have, you know, when you're eating sugar, say if you're eating, you know, lots of high fruit meals and these sorts of foods, the sugars are in the blood as well. But if you have a lot of fat in your blood, like maybe you had a really fatty breakfast, maybe let's just say you had donuts for breakfast, and then lunch comes around, you're like, I'm gonna drink a smoothie because I had donuts for breakfast. Well, it might be harder for those sugars to actually get into your cell because the cell is being clogged with the fat. So in a lot of ways, I mean, this is a really, really deep topic, and you know, I'm like not a medical professional. I don't really know how to like dive into these, you know, things the best, but my thought process is either you're a high fat kind of eater, you eat a diet that's high in fat, and you're low in sugar, low in fruit. Because there are people who do like, man, I feel really good, I've been eating high fat, you know, basically for years. I can't like say that they don't because that's their story. But essentially, it would be hard to eat high sugar if you're eating high fat. That's when we're going to have like the insulin resistance kind of issues coming up and, you know, become like pre-diabetic. So when you have a low fat diet, and your fats are, you know, important, super important, but it's interesting how easy it is to go over on your fats. Me and Lissa both, like, you know, we'll type in chronometer, we're like, wow, like we're so over what we ought to be eating in our day of fats because we had, you know, tahini in our dressing and avocado. So it's not necessarily the sugars that we ought to be worried about. It's like being mindful about how much fat we're actually eating throughout the day. And then of course, the fat ratio is a trip too. I put this in my book talking about the omega-6s to the omega-3. And there's a lot of people who are like, well, you got to have fish. You got to eat fish oil to get your omega-3. Well, we can actually get that from seeds and nuts. You know, and certain foods have, you know, omega-3 in them as well. But we're eating so much omega-6, the avocados, you know, the cashews, the almonds, the peanut butter, these sorts of things. And they aren't as healthy for us as the omega-3s. The omega-3s, are, of course, are going to be a bit harder to, you know, overconsume. You know, because it's like chia seed, flaxseed, hemp seed, walnut, right? These sorts of things. But if you do have issues with blood sugar, you know, of course, you know, you want to go to your doctor, you want to get checked out, you want to see what your levels are. But there's this, you know, his name is Robbie, and Mindful Robbie, and he is a type 1 diabetic, and he has basically been managing his type 1 diabetes with a high fruit diet, low fat, right? So, you know, from my perspective, like I don't have necessarily blood sugar issues or, you know, these sorts of things where I'm like feeling, you know, the symptoms that you'd feel because I keep my fats low and I just try to incorporate lots of fresh, whole, ripe fruits and some vegetables. Like if we were to calculate like where the majority of our calories are coming from, Lissa and I, it's mostly coming from fruits. So that's the thing, you know. Yeah, there's also Freely, the banana girl. I'm not sure if you guys know who Freely the banana girl is. You can look her up. She talks a lot about this. This is pretty much like the main focus of her page, is talking about how sugar necessarily isn't something to be feared. It's the fat that we ought to be more concerned about, because what we have is, you know, you got Pac-Man, and that's the cell, right? Pac-Man's mouth is open, and here's the bloodstream, and those sugars need to get into the mouth of Pac-Man, but if Pac-Man's mouth is clogged with fat, the sugar can't get in. So then our body's releasing more insulin and we're becoming insulin resistant because it's resisting, it's not going in because our cells are coated with too much fat. So it's so funky that sugar gets the bad rap, because it's not necessarily the sugar that is the problem, it's the fat. Let me see. Oh, here, hold on, where'd it go? You go back up here, scrolling back. Okay, here we go. Emije says here, I started eating a 50% raw food in my everyday meals. That's so good. How do you feel? How do you feel eating 50% raw? That's friggin' awesome. That's so good. Okay, yeah, and here looks like Maine is Maine by Amber is replying there. Not dangerous at all. Extremely healing, life changing. Yeah, it definitely can be life changing. But to be mindful of our fats. Another thing I would suggest is to get an app like Chronometer, or I know like MyFitnessPal or whatever has it too. But Chronometer, you can actually type in every single thing that you're eating for the day, everything, and you can actually see your levels. Your numbers. You're like, oh, like I'm actually kind of low in vitamin D today, or I'm low in selenium, or I got too much of this, or I didn't get enough of that, because what gets measured gets managed, right? So it's really important. I feel like no matter what diet you follow, no matter what camp you're in, it's really important to track what you're actually eating. So that way you've got a good idea, a good baseline of where you're at, and that way you can adjust. That can be a really helpful thing. And then says, what is your favorite no-fat salad dressing? Can you share the recipe, please? Yes, so check this out. It would be Lissa's French dressing recipe. This is a no-fat recipe. Now, of course, it's funny with no fat because everything has fat in it. Even iceberg lettuce has little bits of, a little bit of fat in it. So, but I totally get what you're saying. This is essentially a no-fat dressing. So it's going to be like 4 to 5 dates in your blender. Right? Squeeze some lemon juice in there. Throw a clove of garlic, or if you really like garlic, 2 cloves of garlic, or even 3 if you really like a lot of garlic, and a little bit of smoked paprika. So it's dates, garlic, lemon juice, smoked paprika, and a little bit of water. That's a fat-free dressing that'll coat stuff really good, that just hits those flavor sensors on your tongue. You got the sweet, you got the sour, you got the aromatic with the onion, the garlic. You could throw a little shallot in there too if you want. Shallot's a little bit more mellow. And then you've got, some of the herbs, essentially the smoked paprika, but it's no fat. If you want to throw a little bit of fat in there, you could throw like maybe a teaspoon of hemp seed in there, right? Or maybe soak some sunflower seeds, and you could do like a teaspoon of sunflower seeds. That's like nothing. But to cream it up a little bit. Or you could do, you could throw jalapeno in it. Make it spicy. But that French dressing is amazing. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. That's a really, really good one. It's one of our favorites. And it coats everything so nicely. All right, cruising down here just to make sure. Hey, what up? Big hugs from Italy. Man, it's so good. I wish I could give you a hug. I wish I was over in Italy. Give you a hug over there. Shoot. I've started eating 50% raw food in my meals every day since finding you. Hey, all right. I love that. Thank you. I'm so glad that you hopped on. I look up to you immensely. Thank you so much. And I've converted my family into including whole, raw foods in every meal. Thank you for inspiring us. That is so awesome. You're doing the work. That's like my buddy Chris. Like, I'm so proud of him. He's geeking out on it. He's like, man, I'm just like, because he's seeing issues within him. He's in his early 30s and he's seeing issues. Like, he's got issues and health issues. And it's just so nice when people actually make the change. And it's so interesting. It's like, it's real food. We ought to be eating more real food. And that's all it is. So good job on you for doing the work that you're doing and to help inspire your family. I'm really, really proud of you. Hey, Renee Coffee says here, hey, Nate, what are your thoughts on candida on a high fruit diet? Man, that's a really good question. I would have to do a little more research, I feel like, to kind of like come up with a really good answer. But right off the bat, Lissa's like, I had 15 years of high candida, because this is what I was going to say too. I'm like, to give like the best well-rounded answer, it's the high fat. Again, it's the high fat. The high fat is, and it's so easy to eat more fat than we ought to be eating. Okay, so there's this guy, Doug Graham. He came up with this, he coined the term, and I don't really think like, he's originated it. It was like he pulled it from other sources, but he became known as the person who came up with this term 80-10-10. So 80% carbohydrate, fruit, essentially, high fruit, 10% fat, 10% protein. So when we're eating it's like Lissa and I really strive to kind of like adhere to that 80-10-10, because you feel good. You feel really good. You've got a lot of energy. You're not real funky and like sluggish, brain fog and all these kinds of things. But to keep fat at 10%, you're talking like a sliver of avocado with like maybe 2 tablespoons of cashews for like a dressing for your night salad. No fat for the rest of the day. That's not a lot of fat. Like, how easy is it to just slice up an avocado and have half of an avocado on your salad, plus like maybe a 1/4 cup worth of nuts or seeds in your dressing? And that's just dinner. Maybe you have something else with a little bit higher fat, and then you're over that percentage. So it can be really easy to go over the 10%. But yeah, essentially, that's what Lissa was saying, and that's what
15 minutes.
That's what helped her. Yeah, we got to go. She's gonna hop on live here. What are your favorite fruits this time of year? This time of year, that's a good question. Mangoes are coming in. That's pretty good. The citrus has been pretty good. Of course, apples are always popping. That's pretty much, and grapes. It's like that's pretty much what my go-to is right now. Yeah, you guys, so good. Maine by Amber says, I feel like I need about an avocado a day. Yeah, some people do need to, kind of up their fats a little bit, but if you had an avocado, one whole avocado, depending on the size of the avocado, that one avocado can set you over that 10%, depending on what you eat throughout the entire day. It's pretty interesting. So
the USDA for an avocado, a serving is a fifth.
A fifth of an avocado is a serving. A fifth. Like, I could eat 2 whole avocados, easy, guacamole, right? And then, so it's interesting, you picture society. We have deep fried chips in corn oil, or vegetable oil with salt. So you're getting fat in the chip, and then we're eating like guacamole, and then we have like cheese and sour cream on our Mexican dish at night, and that's just one meal. So it's just fascinating to see from a certain lens, from a raw foodist's lens. You can see like, oh, it's no wonder we have the issues that we have on the level that we have them, because we're eating just so much fat. And nutrient levels of food is very low. Like, not like it's devoid of nutrient, but it's so low as opposed to eating whole natural foods, right? So I gotta go, you guys. I'm Mexican, so avocado is not enough. I feel you. I totally feel you. And depending on what your goals are, right? Like, I'm right with you. Like, I have a half of an avocado on my salad with tahini, and I'm like, boom, I just blew my fat percentage for the day. Like I had a little bit of like coconut yogurt in the morning even. My fat percentage is over today. So it can be really, really wild. Yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of the day. Be sure to grab the bundle, tap the link, go into the bio, get it before it's gone. It's here for 10 days, but 10 days goes that fast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed how we downloaded it. If you're watching this later, we're going live here in just a moment. Lissa's going to be making up some delicious goodies. You going live on your phone? Or we're doing Zoom? Oh, Chef AJ. Live on Chef AJ. YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are into YouTube, go Chef AJ. Love you guys.